So, on the subject of letting go, what this what does this really mean? Letting go. Is it indeed a valid concept? Is it a useful concept? Is it a necessary concept? What is its associated situations of meaning? Is it something that we are supposed to do or not? How do we know when given any certain situation whether the most appropriate action is the action of letting go, or perhaps its opposite, holding on? Is holding on truly the opposite of letting go? Can one let go and still be considered sincere in devotion? In true, sincere devotion, does this mean never letting go? What does letting go mean about the cosmic law of sovereignty? What does not letting go mean about the cosmic law of sovereignty? What does letting go have to do with the cosmic law of impermanence? Can we overcome the cosmic law of impermanence by not letting go? What is this meaning? Let go, let God. What is the Old English expression of letting go?
Question?
You're waiting for an answer.
You see his eyes are like...
Vicky Bear?
No. I was not sure if that was a question for us or if he raises a question which he's going to answer.
The questions are placed into the field. Now what?
My understanding of letting go in general is that it is only sent back. It's not dissolving in not existence anymore, whatever you let go. And so that saying letting God, in my understanding, was always I let go of something, but that doesn't just dissolve nowhere. It's just taken care in, or it's just going back to where it came from. It's going back to source. It's going back to, yeah.
So, question. What was the perspective of your consciousness as you were considering that question just now? And as you were giving your response just now?
It was the I perspective.
Okay. Now, are you willing to give yourself permission to consider a slightly different perspective?
Always.
Always. Great. And in this particular moment?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome. Welcome to the perspective of KDI-UCL. Please allow it in. And please allow your attention to return to the question.
Is it to do with letting God in, or letting it being replaced by the space of God, or
KDI-UCL, KDI-UCL,
Ist klar.
yeah, we just got
KDI-UCL, KDI-UCL. What is the feeling in KDI-UCL when you examine that question?
It is a warmth. Feelings and the emotions disappear to belong to this subject of the material.
On letting go in KDI-UCL. On letting go, not in KDI-UCL. How do the two experiences relate with one another?
If it's not in KDI-UCL, it is in a kind of not hardness, but it's not smooth.
Is there struggle?
Yes, as it is an act of doing something.
Is there struggle in KDI-UCL? Is this your experience of the two perspectives?
yes.
Notice simply by changing the perspective, the question has different dimensions of experience. I am considering the question from the I perspective. I experience struggle associated with the question. I consider the question from KDIUCL. I do not experience struggle in connection with the question. This is an example of perspective shift. Now, can I experience both perspectives? The perspective of non-KDIUCL and the perspective of KDIUCL. In considering both perspectives, the KDIUCL allows for the validation of both perspectives. In considering both perspectives, the non-KDIUCL does not allow for validation of both perspectives. What is that like? If I am in me, perspective, all that is right is that which serves me. Now, the universe gives me diversity in the form of you or you. In the perspective of me, I must be served. I must be right. I must win. Are you in that perspective? For you? Are you in that perspective? For you? Well, let me tell you, you are wrong. You are wrong. I am right. Struggle, conflict, you see? What are you thinking? What are you saying? No. You have it all wrong. You are wrong, and you are wrong, and I am right. And what are you thinking and saying? Ha! Both of you are so freaking wrong. I am right. And now, from the I, me perspective, if each of us is in the I, me perspective, there is no unity. If each of us is in the I, me perspective, we are all struggling in disagreement with one another. If any one of us is in KDIUCL and the other two are in the I, me perspective, the one in KDIUCL can see the unity of all three and see the path of clarity, the resolution of the conflict, the resolution of the struggle of this one, and the resolution of the struggle of that one, and the resolution of the struggle between this one and that one. In KDIUCL, all of this is evident. This one is struggling to let go of their position because they feel if they let go of their position, then they are weaker. And this one will win. And this one is struggling in the same kind of way. And therefore, they are not fighting over truth. They're fighting over their positions. From KDIUCL, it can be seen very clearly. But from the me perspective, it will not be seen clearly. And this is how conversation degenerates. The subject matter of the conversation becomes pushed off to the side, and now it is the dynamics of power and struggle between those who are conversing, who are communicating. It is no longer about the subject that we were supposed to be talking about. If the subject was, why is there rain? It is no longer the point of focus. The point of focus is, you think you know more about rain than I know. But I know more about rain than you know. You don't know shit about rain. Your research on rain is old-fashioned, old-school research. I have the best research. What I know about rain is going to win me the Nobel Prize. This is the conversation. That is not a conversation about rain. That's a conversation about ego 1, ego 2, ego 3. Do you see? Rain now just becomes the placeholder, as they say, to put the noun in there. It's about rain. It's about rain. No, it's not about rain. It's about you, and you struggling in your me, I position, perspective. So if that's what is going on, where is letting go? The ego of each becomes stronger. Why? Because the idea of letting go is actually a movement of releasing the ego. The ego of the psyche, the ego of the identity envelope. If I let go and allow you to be right, or at least allow you to have your way, if I let go and allow you to have your way, if I let go and allow you to think about me however you want to think about me, I have disengaged from the battle. True, you may see that as a weakness in me, and you then may want to attack me even more. And I let go. In this letting go, I am not engaging in the struggle. Now, what happens once I let go? You struggle more. Because if I let go, how much do you have for justification? For hating me or hurting me? You see? What more do you require for proof of your being right and me being wrong if I let go? What more is there to indicate a greater accuracy and a greater truth about what you're holding on to if I let go? Who's in struggle if I let go? You remain in struggle. Why? Because justification was necessary. Justification comes about if I am in struggle with you in struggle. Then there's something that has to be done to relieve my struggle, only because now justification comes in. I get myself a stick over here. Because you won't let go, I'm going to have to hit you with this stick. Force you to let go. Maybe the stick is my words. Maybe the stick is a real stick. I struggle to try to make you let go. That is called victory. My winning the struggle. What if you refuse to yield? Now I will struggle harder to try to force you to let go. What if I succeed in defeating you? You are defeated. Did you let go? Or did you just die? Did you just roll over and declare that I am the winner and you are the loser? But did you let go? You may have undertaken the act. You pried it out of my hand, but you did not pry it out of my heart. You did not pry it out of my head. Because in my heart, I will continue to hate you. And in my head, I will continue to justify why I hate you. I have a CAE for life. You see? What is the mechanism? The most efficient mechanism for letting go is KDIUCL. Unconditional. Now why? Because there's the recognition that if there is attachment, if there has been non-letting go, it is this one's awareness of the non-letting go. And in the flow of the infinite compassion, there is the realization of what letting go immediately would begin to bring into the field. The realization. There's also another level of realization. There was not letting go because there was not permission to let go. Have you heard the expression when people say, I have a reputation to upkeep? I must keep up this reputation. That is a persona. I'm not willing to let go of that. People think of me as a very nice and kind person, as a generous philanthropist person, as one of the most admired Hollywood celebrities, as one of the most sexy people on earth. I have a reputation to uphold. And so, in upholding my reputation, I must not let go. If I let go, they will think I am not that type of person after all. And they will be disappointed. And they will not buy my books or turn the channel on the cable to watch my movies or come to my concerts or praise me. So, can I let go? In KDIUCL, there are often many high prices to pay. An example. Here is a story that was told to me on December 30th, 2012, that evening, after we had been outside with Reynolds, and he had taken us on an underground journey to the subterranean city beneath Los Angeles, where the Adamic civilization is flourishing. And that evening there was a man by the name of Kofi, an African gentleman who visited us in the 4 days that we were all together. And I could tell he was an awakened being. And so he was very radiant, and everyone liked him and wanted to spend some time with him. For me, I did not get a chance to spend one-on-one time with him until maybe 3 months later. But when I did, I went out to visit him, and he told me a story. And the story goes like this. In Tibet, a long time ago, or someplace in Asia, in a Buddhist country in Asia, there was this monk. He was the head lama of the monastery, the head Rinpoche of the Buddhist monastery. He was recognized as the wisest and most enlightened of the lamas in the large region. He had great respect from everyone. He was loved by everyone. And so his word had so much authority. And one day, the young village girl, she was 18 years of age. And for many years she grew up in the monastery, as many of the children did, because the monks and the lamas were so inviting. They were so loving. And in Buddhism, you start your child very young in exposure to the teachings and the lifestyle and the energy. And so this young girl, she had done many good things for the lama. She would clean, she would cook, she would wash the clothes, she volunteered, she would help prepare for special events and things like this. And she was very beautiful and very innocent. And one day it was discovered that she was pregnant. Her father discovered that she was pregnant. Now what to do? The father, of course, was about to go into a rage. He was about to pick up a stick and beat her. He was so wounded. He was so disgraced. The mother saw this, and at least she intervened. Please, please, and stood between the daughter and the father. Please, don't hurt her. She's our child. And the father is so angry and so embarrassed and ashamed, and he knows he is supposed to defend the honor of the family. Who it is that has raped you? It must be that they have sexually abused you. Someone has attacked you and taken your innocence and impregnated you. I must go and find this one and kill him. And the young lady said, it was the head lama. He is the one. He is the father of the child. Oh my God, what to do? You can't go and kill the head lama, the most holy man in the land. But how can he be holy if he raped and stole the virginity and the innocence of this young girl? So the father was perplexed and he was distraught, and he went from rage to now panic to now so totally lost and so totally hurt. So he had to seek advice of his brother, who was also without understanding. They had to seek advice of others, and they had to seek advice of the council of the elders. And pretty soon the entire village knew. And some wanted to rush to the monastery and burn it down, drag out the Lama and string him up on a tree. And others said, no, this cannot be. We have to exile him, ostracize him, but we cannot harm him. He is a man of God, even though he has sinned and done the most horrible thing. So what they did was they assembled a mob and they went to the monastery, yelling, shouting. And they gathered outside and they called for the head Lama to come out. And they said, a shouting and threatening voice, what kind of man are you? You call yourself a man of God, but you are the greatest hypocrite of all. And the Lama's response was, oh, is that so? Yes, don't act as if you don't know what is going on. You have raped our innocent daughter. You have taken advantage of her because she has been around you for these years. She has been here in the monastery and she has given in her innocence and her love. She has given her devotion. And you have taken advantage of that. You have exploited that. And the evil and the darkness in you says that you are no holy man. And as no holy man, you are banished. You must leave the monastery. And his response to the crowd was, oh, is that so? And they screamed, what is your explanation? How can this be? You are this, and you are this, and you are this, and you are this. And he simply said, oh, is that so? And so they banished him, not out of the valley altogether, because they didn't want him to be out of sight and out of mind. What they wanted was for him to be a sight of shame, a target for harsh judgment and anger and hatred and disappointment by the entire valley. And so he had a small plot of land that he had to go live in this little hut on this small plot of land on the edge of the valley, which he did. And years go by, and years go by, and he spoke to no one. And this child was born. Beautiful child. And the child would grow to be a strong and beautiful, lovely child. And the mother would raise this child and give this child so much love. Yet, the child grew up not knowing the father. Who was the father? Because with all the shame associated with the Lama's situation, no one would talk about it. No one would talk to the Lama. No one would talk about the situation. That was the agreed upon solution for the entire village. You don't talk about this. By the time the child had turned 18, this beautiful, sweet child, at this point in time, the child was allowed to ask questions. And the question that the child wanted to know the answer to was, who is my father? Who is my father? By this time, everyone in the village, even though they had recognized the shameful circumstances of this child coming into existence, the child was so loving, the child was so sweet, the child was so intelligent, the child was so kind, the child was so bright, that everyone in the village had mixed feelings towards the child. On one hand, this child was a bastard, and thus a being for shame. On the other hand, this child was like an angel, and so everyone loved the child. So when it came time for the child to turn 18, the child would ask the mother, who is my father? Who is my father? Finally, the mother had to tell the truth. She said, your father is out in the back, in the stables, tending to the horses. She goes, what do you mean? Your father is out in the back in the stables, tending to the horses. She says, no, that is just John, the stableman. He's not my father, is he? He's never acted like my father. She says, yes, he is your father. And he is my husband. But we were never allowed to marry. We were both young. He was just a stable boy. And I was the girl, the daughter of the family here. And we fell in love. And when we fell in love, we conceived you. Only he was a poor stable boy. He was beneath us. There was no way that your grandfather and grandmother would have permitted me to marry him. In fact, if it were known that he was your father, the town, the village would have killed him. And so I made up a lie. And I said it was the Lama who had taken me. And that it is the Lama who is your father. But this is not true. I chose the Lama because he is the only person in the entire valley whom I knew they would not kill. Because not only would they have killed your father, they would have stoned me to death and thus killed you. And to this day, the Lama has lived all these years alone, with no one to talk to and everyone to hate him and call him a hypocrite and not a holy man. And all along, he has never spoken out against this. So that you and I and your father could all be here together, here on this farm. I could not show outwardly my love for your father, nor he show his love for me, not even show his love for you in any kind of affectionate way. But we have all been together here in this home. He has slept in the barn all these years, but he has always been close by. So by the time she has told this story, she has told the truth to the child. The grandmother and the grandfather are told the truth by the little girl, who is now 18 and a young woman. By this time, it is understood. The stable hand is a middle-aged man now, late 30s. He has been devoted all this time. No harm will come to him at this point. No shame further to the mother. So what happens is then the relatives are informed and the entire village comes together and they all together march down to the corner, to the edge of the valley, to the small little plot of land where there the old Lama is tending to his garden. And all of the people come and they are crying and they drop to their knees and they beg his forgiveness. We have doubted you all these years. We have called you the worst of names. We have murdered you in our hearts and our minds. We would not acknowledge you as a holy man. And all these years you said nothing. Not once did you try to defend yourself. Not once did you correct us. All you had to say was the truth. And we would have taken care of the situation. Only now we realize if we had taken care of the situation, we would have killed 3 people. And in your silence, 3 people are alive today. And they are beloved members of our village. And we have you to thank for that. Please forgive us. And the Lama's response, after 18 years of silence. Oh, is that so? End of story.
Amazing story.
What is the meaning of all of this? What's the value of all of this? KDI-UCL. The practice of the Lama was KDI-UCL. The practice of the Lama was Bindu. In the moment that they confronted him and accused him, he was already in KDI-UCL. From the moment they threatened him and ostracized him, he was already in Bindu. He saw all of the possibilities because he was not vested in defending himself. By being in KDI-UCL, he knew instantly what had happened. He knew instantly that any promotion of self-interest for his dignity, for his self-respect, for his self-worth, for his survival would result in someone or someone's loss of life and loss of way of life. And so, the greatest act of compassion, the act from KDI-UCL, and the wisest act from the Bindu was to simply say, oh, is that so? And to accept this assignment, an assignment to solitude and silence, to accept it unconditionally, and to live it unconditionally. This also may be part of your path of enlightenment. It certainly has been this one's. For shortly after being told that story, this one experienced that with multiple people, has experienced it numerous times and continues to experience it to this day. Many situations, some of which you may find on the YouTube, some of which have come to me even this past week. You will have a deeper understanding and a deeper appreciation for KDI-UCL, and you will have a deeper understanding and a deeper appreciation of the process of letting go. When and if any situation like that, even just slightly like that, happens to you in your life, and you will see the choice. Consider that Lama. The holiness of the being is not simply what happens inside of the religious structure with all the ceremony and all the protocol. Put on the fancy robes and chant and beat the drums and play the music. Holiness is the consciousness perspective. Kediayusya. And then later, we'll talk about the Bindu. Useful?
Absolutely.
Good. May this one be of service.
Thank you very much.